Welcome to episode 4 of Ambassadors, our show that takes you behind the scenes of Between Two Beers. Shay, bit of a long day?
Been a longer day for you. What time was your start?
Yeah, it's 4:30 start this morning.
AM.
This is my day though, you know. I get my wife has given me 1 day a week to leave the house.
You're really making the most out of it.
And I had physio at 7 a.m. in Mount Albert, and then we did one epic long-form pod this morning with Dean Lonergan. We did another one that we've just finished with a mystery guest, which was what?
It was epic.
Yeah.
I think we're both pretty fizzed. It's been a long day, but we are fizzed after that last recording.
Yeah, I don't know why we're not going to say who it is, but it was one of my favourite episodes we've ever done. So there's something to look forward to. But here is
Big raps.
episode. Yeah, it was, man. It was cool.
It was a journey, huh?
Yeah,
And
people are gonna hate us not saying who it is. But
do you think they'll hate us not saying who it is, or us saying journey?
You both
more often.
Let's not go down that track again. And this is episode number 3 for the day, and then we're going to the footy tonight.
Yeah, that's right. FIFA Women's World Cup semi-final, Spain versus Sweden.
Yeah.
Just quickly before we recap the Women's World Cup experience, who are you backing tonight?
Swedes. Yeah, Swedes look good in their win over Japan. But no, let's talk women's football.
I'm also backing Sweden.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to ask. Sorry, man.
Yeah, were you going to ask? Because you didn't.
I was going to ask. Man, it's been a hell of a tournament. I have been very heavily invested. That Australia-France game was one of the most gripping sporting theatres that I can remember. I was watching by myself at about 10:30 at night. In that penalty shootout, I had the cushions up like by my face. Like I was so nervous for these women. There was so much riding on it.
Huge game, like great game. Did you run a 2-screen operation with the wires at some? Because there was a crossover between the two.
Nah, I didn't. Oh,
you were fully invested in the World Cup.
I was just all in on football. This is just the storylines there. Sam Kerr coming on, like bursting forward with her first touch. Did you watch the game?
Yeah, of course I did.
But the penalty shootout, the drama of that penalty shootout was unmatched. The Aussie goalkeeper, Mackenzie Arnold, she saved and then had the chance to be a hero and scored the winning goal. She missed. And then France missed and Australia had the chance to win it and they missed. And then Mackenzie Arnold made an amazing save and had to come back and retake it. And then she made another save and then Australia had a chance to win and they missed. And then France missed and then Australia scored and they won. And boy, oh boy, I was flying.
Big fan of Mary Fowler.
Yes.
In our household. Doc Brown has really got on board with the Mary Fowler train.
Yeah.
Very, very good player.
She was amazing.
Yeah, and Mary Fowler as well. Oh. Now, hey, and how long ago does it feel like New Zealand beat Norway?
Yeah, long way. Long.
What a moment that was as well. Like, kind of massive highs through this whole World Cup.
Yeah, we haven't spoke about the Women's World Cup in Ambassadors yet, I don't think. So that game, we were both there when New Zealand beat Norway, and having talked to Rebecca Stott a few weeks before and our best mate Mainie as assistant coach, there was a lot of emotions in my eyes.
Yeah, you're an emotional guy. You're an emotional guy,
but I was doing a match report for the Herald and I came down afterwards, and I think it was you know that behind the scenes story of what someone's been through, and obviously so connected to Mainie. I know how hard it's been in that Ferns environment and the bad results and him being away from home. I was just sort of wrapped up in it for him. But the way they played, just the whole thing was one of the greatest sporting events I've ever been to, up there with Bahrain and Wellington in 2009.
Yeah, 100%. It was amazing. And yeah, fair play to Mainie. He deserved that result, as did all of the football Ferns. Just a shame it had to end a little bit too soon for them, in my opinion.
Nicely said. Right, moving on. My week's surreal moment. I got a text. I'm terrible at like saving people's numbers. You hate this.
Oh, really? We can add this to the list of things that Stephen does that winds me up. Yeah, not saving people's numbers particularly annoys me.
One of your many pet peeves. I got a text from a random number, and it was like, "Hey mate, really loved the Jerry episode. Look at this little bit of treasure I've dug up." It was Mikey Havoc texting me. So amazing that he's listening and enjoyed it. And then the link was to a Dropbox, and he'd found the original episode of Jerry with the live eye that we spoke about in his episode. And holy shit, we're going to cut out a little clip for socials, but just took me back. I remember talking about it in that episode, and I said that my memory was a bit hazy on it, and it was just as I remembered, like a big cricket helmet with a camera on the side, and in these sort of prostitute parlors. And oh man, like you haven't seen it yet?
No, I haven't. Is it kind of grainy found footage, or is it like passable TV content?
It's in between. It's not great quality, but it will come up good on social. So stand by for that one. In other news, we are going to, which episode are we going to reflect on?
Sonia Gray.
Sonia Gray. Yeah, she was cool, eh?
She was really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like the Lotto chat, I know I got hammered during the episode. I got hammered post-episode as well. I feel like that was a really, really interesting part of that.
Yeah, it was. I stitched you up a bit there because I was the one hyping up the Lotto chat to start with. I was like, oh, we're so excited for Lotto chat. And then you went a little bit too far. But then afterwards in the ACC waiting room outside?
Green room, Sonia called it.
The green room. We told a few people we had Sonia on, and all they wanted to know were the questions you asked.
Yeah, Chris Key almost validated every question that I asked about Lotto. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
So well done. But yeah, it did. I sort of spoke about it a little bit in the episode, but it sent me on a bit of an ADHD journey. I think I revealed that my son Bowie, undiagnosed ADHD, but the more I look into it, the more I think he has it. And it was a bit of a. I talked to my wife Bon after it. I was like, "Is it okay for me to talk about this, on the episode in front of the audience?" And she sort of said, "Yeah, I think it's good. Isn't that the whole point, that it's not something to sort of shy away from?" And so we both did an ADHD test, didn't we?
Yeah, both got 21.
21, which is non-ADHD.
Yeah, that's right.
I did send the link to my wife Bon, and she definitely has ADHD. It's all right. She's okay with me talking
Is that internet link like medically certified?
It's not medically certified, but yeah, she's got it.
But I think to your point, like talking about it as a parent, a lot of the feedback that we've received from that episode has been like, I really needed to hear that at this point in time, or thank you guys so much for putting a platform for that story to be shared. So yeah, definitely like really valuable, I think, what we've done. And great that Sonia continues to fly the flag for the neurodiverse community.
Yeah, she's epic, eh? And yeah, the feedback has been cool. People saying I needed this episode. It hit me at the right time. I didn't really understand what was going on with my kid. This has helped paint a clear picture.
Have you listened? Really cool. She suggested you listen to the Mechanics of a Meltdown?
Yep.
You did?
I listened to it.
Yep. Good one, man.
On drive up. Yeah, it was really good. Really good. Really helpful.
Yeah, nice.
Go and listen to it if you think your kid's got ADHD. Episode 8.
Yeah, no such thing as normal. 10 episodes, all out now.
Yes. Right, into some questions. Question from Dougie Sargent. Loved your chat with Josh Coman. What an absolute legend. After hearing you talk about your Kipchoge challenge run, I went and watched the video. Brilliant. Was that Seamus in the stand on the home straight?
Yeah, that was me, Dougie. It was me and Michael Main, who we referenced earlier, and his beautiful wife, Tyler. Yeah, that feels like a long time ago. I was speaking about that at the gym last week, actually, funnily enough, with Dave McLean.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about that, and I thought back to the training that you went through. Like, for those that, I guess, aren't familiar with what you did, how long and intensive was that training?
Yeah. It was about 3 months, I think. I was quite fit at the time. The whole premise was, could I run 1 kilometre as fast as Kipchoge did for 42 when he ran a sub 2 hour marathon? And that was kind of why we talked about it in the Josh Coman episode. Like, it's so fast. Anyone that knows running, like if you can do 1 kilometre in 2:50, which is the time, you are basically sprinting. So Josh ran a lot faster than that at his peak, which was kind of the point I was making. But to my video, it was the hardest physical thing I've ever done. Like, it's a real hurt locker, that distance, because you just go fast and you just hold on. And there's a point in it where my tank gets emptied and I'm coming around the corner.
Yeah.
It's about 800 meters.
I remember that.
And I start getting wobbly and my legs go and I think, oh, fuck, I can't do this. And then on that home straight, I remember I caught a second wind, and it's pretty unco. Like, I'm like that guy from Forrest Gump. I believe that belongs to Mr. Gilmore. You know the guy?
That's not Forrest Gump. That's Happy Gilmore.
It was a good one too. But yeah,
could you hear us? Could you hear us cheering you on?
I was in my own world, charging down, and I crossed the finish line right on 2 minutes 50, which is the time I had to be, which means I didn't have to. If it was 2:51, I would have had to have done the whole thing again. There was like 2 cameramen and a whole setup there. So
3 friends.
But yeah, it was a really cool shot. The last shot is me on the ground, I think, and I'm just absolutely spent. And in the background is Seamus and my 2 other friends in the stand. And I think, yeah, it added to the drama. I think Tyler had her hands over her face, but it was cool. It's something I'm really proud of. Go and watch the video.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too, man.
Sure, bro. Question from Boomer Cochin. Hell of a name, Boomer Cochin. I've seen your posts about publicly talking about the BTB story. What's been the coolest part of the journey?
Oh,
for
Boomer.
you guys?
Boomer, that word's been cancelled.
You can't say journey. Shay, favourite part of the journey?
I think I mentioned this on a previous episode, but like building a toolkit of really useful advice. Every episode that we record with someone, I find myself now relating it to the journey that we're on with the podcast. And it's been awesome. Perseverance is something that Dean Lonergan spoke about today. Patience, I think, and patience, perseverance, and confidence.
There you go. You were listening.
Yeah, I was listening. But it's cool. I think because I listen back to all of the episodes to pull out those little nuggets and to know that one day you can dip back into something and find something useful or refer it to a friend or a family member is awesome.
Is that a shot at me because I don't listen back to the episodes?
You read that any way you want to, mate.
I took that as a personal attack.
Yeah, I feel like maybe you have to look long and hard in the mirror.
Would you like to know what the coolest part of my journey has been?
Sure.
Because you didn't ask.
Well, it was like the Sweden-Spain game. You didn't ask me who I was backing tonight. So
tasted my own medicine, and it is sour.
This is what we get like at the end of a long day, isn't it?
A long day.
A little bit passag.
It's a bit silly.
Nagging away at each other.
Silly. Coolest part. I was thinking about this. I had a moment in the car the other day, and it was that we're in a position now where we get to think of who the most interesting, successful people in New Zealand are, and we reach out to them. And a good percentage of the time, we end up in a room with them for 2 hours, drinking a beer, picking their brains, asking them anything we want, like that. And we spoke about this in a previous episode. The extension of that is we develop relationships and sometimes friendships, and that continues. Like that little ecosystem we've created.
Pretty awesome.
Is cool.
It'd be better if you saved some of those numbers so you knew who was texting you back. We also had a question from Mania Stewart of the ACC, who asked where the male G-spot was in the anus. I'm not going to answer that, Mania. That's something you have to figure out for yourself. But an interesting fact that's been around the ACC halls is this kind of notion that Mania and I look the same or are the same person. I think he's been mistaken for me on a few occasions. I'm yet to be mistaken for Mania anywhere. I don't know whether that says more about Mania or less about me.
Two beautiful men. I've come down on both sides of this because the other day you two were both in the same place. That you look nothing alike. But a few weeks ago, I saw him walking from a distance, and I thought that's Seamus.
Yeah,
so I can see it.
Well, maybe we'll put some sort of a poll up on socials, and you can vote whether you think we look alike, Mania, Stuart, and I.
Yeah,
and a lot of people say that you and I sound alike.
So last Ambassadors Ep, I talked about the legends at Soda Plumbing that came round and said they listened to every episode, and they came back
and they thought you and me,
and they were like, "We actually can't tell you guys apart. you both sound like we never know like who's saying who. So you've sort of both blended into one personality, which is okay, I guess."
Again, I don't know who that speaks more to, but that's
fine.
You got a highlight for the last 2 weeks?
Highlight of the last 2 weeks. Yeah, probably the response to this low-key legends concept. I wasn't really sure how it was going to land. So up until now, well, maybe over the last 2 years, it has been about getting the highest profile guests we can to share their epic stories. It was kind of the blueprint. And you grow an audience that way because you capture a large audience. Now that we do have a big audience that seems to follow us wherever we go, I love the thought of these low-key legends, and it's guys like Dwayne Dalton and Josh Coleman and hopefully a few more coming. Names that people probably wouldn't know beforehand, but they listen because they expect it's going to be a decent listen, and then the story just unfolds and is totally epic. And it just opens up a whole new range of guests because it can be quite hard to continuously get high-profile people in.
Yeah, we got asked that this week, didn't we? About what do you do if you haven't got a guest?
Yeah, you just try to you re-release an old one. But it's cool. I think it's the evolution of the podcast. It went from football to sort of celebrity, and now established audience, and we just find the most epic stories in New Zealand, and we find the best ways of sharing them. So that was my highlight. Yours?
It's not directly podcast related, but a couple of cool opportunities have presented themselves to me. I've got the opportunity to go up to the Solomon Islands in November for the Pacific Games to do a TV hosting gig.
Ooh,
So,
check you out.
yeah, 2 weeks.
In front of camera.
Yeah, 2 weeks back in the Solomons, so it should be awesome. I think you'll be able to catch that down here on Māori television if you want to see how I track.
I'll be tuning in.
And some more commentary opportunities. So,
Have you put in for leave from the podcast? Are you going to be away for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I've accepted my own leave. And some commentary, some football commentary on the men's Olympic qualifiers here in Auckland.
Are you trying to become the new voice of football in New Zealand?
Yeah.
From Jason Pine.
Jason Pine, if you're listening to this, I'm coming after your mantle. So I started a low-key kind of Twitter thread, which didn't really get any traction at all during the Women's World Cup.
Twitter's dead, mate.
Twitter it's X anyway, yeah. So I've
Yeah.
dead named Twitter. Apologies for that. Apologies, who is it, Elon Musk?
Yeah.
I see they called off their fight, Musk and Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Who would you back?
Topical. I think Zuck's got that, I've seen a few pics of him in Israel. He looks like he's
Looks like he can handle himself.
he's ripped
Yeah,
to
okay.
bits.
You're Team Zuck. I'll go
Yeah.
Team Musk then.
Team Zuck. But hey, look, that's enough for today. It's been a long day. Been a good day.
Yeah, it's been a great day. One of the great days.
One of the great days.
Between Two Beers history, I think.
Yeah, it's been a goodie.
We love your feedback. We love getting questions. We love everything about you.
We love you.
I don't know. It's a
What do you
long
say,
day.
mate?
Let's call it.
Yeah, cut it off,
Let's
mate.
call it. Let's call it. Producer Adam,
See you
thank
next
you as
time.
always. Over and out.